From Miss India, South Africa, to remote working powerhouse, Priyanka just didn't wear the crown. She rewrote the rulebook on balancing ambition, study, and global clients. In this episode, she spills the secrets from building trust with clients she's never met to time-saving hacks that keep her ahead. If you're navigating remote work or chasing big dreams on your terms, this is for you. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Outsourcing Edge. Today we're joined by the very lovely Priyanka, who's got lots of great stories and was ex-Miss India, South Africa. So yes, amazing. Hello
That is
Priyanka, how are
great.
you?
Very well, thanks. And you, Emily?
Very well, thank you. I can see it looks a bit cold. You've got your scarf. Is it chilly?
It is. It's actually getting a little bit chilly here now. So we getting into winter. So yeah, it's a bit chilly now.
I think this is something that us over in the UK and the West find very difficult to understand. How cold
Yes.
is it, Priyanka?
I would say not as cold as it is there. So our cold is probably your summer.
That's it,
Yes,
that's it. But keep warm and toasty, very
we
important.
will. We
So
will.
yeah.
Thank you.
So Miss India, South Africa, that was a bit of a journey.
Yes, yes. No, it really was. A few years ago, I was actually crowned Miss India South Africa. Incredible journey. I was on an international TV show. So it's called Dance Niger Dance. And I was actually in Nigeria for almost 2 months. And we were filming this show. Incredible opportunity. I met incredible music artists, Nigerian artists, which was an absolutely fantastic journey. And yeah, I wouldn't change it for anything. I actually decided not to pursue with that because I wanted to focus on my career and on my studies at the time. But yeah, it was incredible while it lasted.
Good fun and so great memories to look back and tell the children about
Yes,
it. They're
definitely.
fantastic. So I've known you now for coming up to over 2 years now. It's been a
Yes,
while.
yes,
And
it
our paths
has.
crossed right at the beginning of my remote recruitment journey. And tell me a little bit about you and who you are and what you do today.
Yes. So, as you said, I've been with you for almost 2 years. My journey with you has been fantastic. I was actually firstly introduced by you through the whole recruitment journey and remote working. And I must say, it has helped me so much in my own personal career, in my own personal development, grow as an individual. Reason being is I was actually studying at the time when I started with you. So I was pursuing my degree in accounting, and as you may know, like studying accounting and actually doing it is completely different. And at the time, I didn't really know what I wanted to study. And I got into this degree not knowing anything. And I remember speaking to my parents and I said to them, you know what, look, I actually want to work. Like, I want to go into the working world and I want to study. And they said to me, you know what, you have to be very disciplined doing this. And it's not easy. It's not easy. So I then decided to look for something remote where I would have the opportunity to pursue with my studies and focus on that, as well as getting the working experience. And that's where you came in, where at the time I was offered this opportunity. Yes, it was obviously not a full time, it was part time, which was fantastic. So in the morning, I would then focus on my work, in the evening, focus on my studies, vice versa. Even with the time difference in the UK, it's not much. I think it's an hour, and then it
Yeah,
changes to 2 hours in the
very
year.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very easy working around those hours. And yeah, I was able to gain that working experience as well as completing my degree. And I can proudly say now that I'm currently pursuing my honors and almost done and pre-accepted for my master's, which is fantastic. And I'm still working. So yeah,
Wow.
it's been an incredible journey.
Wow. Well done, Priyanka. That's an incredible achievement. And really,
Yes,
you should be very proud of yourself to balance all your responsibilities.
yes, yes.
There's a lot of juggling going on there. How do you manage to juggle and prioritize your time?
So I think it's definitely discipline, and I really have to structure my day accordingly. So I'm a very busybody. I love to gym, I love to do sports, I love to spend time with my family. But at the same time, we have to work and study, as I mentioned. So I think in terms of like prioritizing, usually on a Sunday, I plan my week. So I usually On a Sunday, look at my diary. Okay, this is what I need to focus on, especially with remote working, because we're not physically with each other. Communication is key, which I believe. So on a Friday, I usually have a meeting with my client and I say to him, you know what, look, what do I need to work on for the rest of the week? So on a Friday, I get a breakdown, and then on a Sunday, I'm able to plan for the week. So that's how I usually manage my time.
That works well. And how is it working with clients that you've never met?
So quite honestly, in the beginning, it's like, is this person real? Especially with AI now. You're like, is this person actually real? But obviously, we have a lot of Teams calls and video calls. I mean, WhatsApp now is very efficient in terms of that. So we have our calls weekly. And I think in the beginning, it's a little bit hard because you obviously don't know who you're dealing with. But over time, you get to learn the person, you get to learn the company, which really helps. You know, it's also building that trust, and especially with the client that I have been working with, I think we almost ending off 2 years, which has been incredible. And we've sort of built that trust where we don't even have to have meetings. He doesn't even have to tell me, look, you need to focus on this, this, and this, because he knows exactly what I need to do. I know exactly what I need to do. So we've come to the time now where he usually just sends me a WhatsApp, do this, have you gotten this done, thumbs up, and that's where we're at. So I think
Wow.
over time it's also building that trust with your client, especially working remote and not being with them face to face.
No, very true. Now, obviously, without disclosing names at this particular point, has your client grown with your help?
Yes, yes, of course. Over time, as we see, we obviously start off part time, and there is that opportunity, for a full time role. And you'll sort of see over time, like your client sort of can gauge on how you were assisting. So in the beginning, there was a fewer tasks given to me, and over time, as he was expanding, as his company was expanding, he was able to now move his tasks to me. As I said, once again, once we built that trust, he was able to move over more tasks to me, giving me more of the opportunity to grow, as well as himself finding more time to grow in other avenues.
Wonderful, wonderful. And what's next for you, Priyanka? What's your goals for the coming years? Now you're going to get your master's. World domination?
Yes. Well, I'm actually finishing my honors. So I'll be starting my master's next year, but I want to continue with working remotely. The world now has sort of shifted with remote working, and it's given me the time to balance my life, which I really like. And I don't think I can go back to like a full-time office job. I mean, I'm newly married. We're going to be starting a
Congratulations.
family soon. And I mean, I speak to a lot of people out there and they say to us, what, look, you come to a point in your life where you need to balance your work life, and this is the only way forward. It's the only way one can do that.
So you'd never go back into an office. If I rang you up with an amazing opportunity to go
Well,
back in the
we'll
office,
have to chat offline about that.
I can't see that happening because I agree with you. Remote is the way
Yes,
forward. So you,
100%.
you prioritize on a Sunday how your week looks forward, but how do you work it on a sort of day-to-day basis?
Yes. Okay, so it obviously all depends on the client. You'll see, especially with part time, it's very hard dedicating, for example, 3 hours, like 11 to 3. With most of the clients, things come in between. So what I usually do is time my tasks. So over time, you'll sort of learn that, and you'll be able to know how long a task takes. So I just sort of use my time efficiently in the day. So throughout the day, I'll obviously be working in between. I like working in the evenings because I'm usually quite busy in the day with other work, etc. So I usually tend to work quite efficiently in the evening. It's just that all the tasks throughout the day that is given to me, I usually work on it in the evening and then I report the next day. So I get everything done in the day and then I sit in the evenings. Even if I do dedicate 3 hours, I know I'm sitting and getting everything done, send him a report Monday morning. I then get the new list of tasks day after that evening work. So yeah, no
How
worries.
do you balance clients when they're both asking you, or you've got two people saying, I need this
Yes.
done now? How do you balance that? Because that's a common problem.
It is very common, and I have had that in the past. But I think I understand that both things are important. But what I do is obviously prioritize. So if something is very urgent in terms of them getting to a client, I then prioritize that versus something that needs to be done internally. Because I feel like internally is not as important as getting something out to a client. Like client relationship is very important to me, like keeping that relationship. So I tend to shift my priorities towards that.
Wonderful. Now, what tools do you find really advantageous for remote working
Yes. So
in
in the
terms of
past
software?
and currently, I use Trello. So I obviously, this is something that I use with the client. So Trello manages tasks efficiently. It gives you it pops you a message whenever things are due, and you're able to set due dates prior to that to remind you. So I quite like that. It updates you when someone else comments. And what I also use a lot on this is whenever my client puts tasks on, I sort of update them as long as I'm going through the tasks so that they get updates and they know where I'm at. So I'm that person where I will not tell my client when I'm completed a task. I will sort of update them as along me completing the task. I just feel that just more efficient because in my mind, I know where I am, but in their mind, they might think I haven't even started the task,
You've
you
hit the
know?
nail on the head because it's so hard if you've never met somebody in your different environments
100%.
or different countries. That constant communication is essential, isn't it? So you're right.
Yes.
Tools like Trello is perfect because then they get notifications, they know what's going on. Because not knowing is the problem with clients, and where in any situation, if you don't know, you assume the worst. So that constant
Yes.
communication is essential. What other tools do you find useful?
So I mostly use Trello, but I obviously have my own. So it's actually called One SharePoint. So we also use SharePoint quite a lot, and we have SharePoint notes that we also use very efficiently. But that's for my personal tracking, and Trello is more for the client tracking.
Fantastic, fantastic. Which bit of remote working do you enjoy the most?
So for me, it would be when I get to chat to my clients because I obviously don't get to see them in person and I love chatting. So when we have our catch ups every Friday or Monday or whatever the case is, I love chatting with them and giving them an update because I feel like I'm always working in the background and in my mind, I know I'm getting things done, but to them, it's like, is she working? Like I'm not physically seeing her working. So it's always that, mind game that's playing on me. And when I get to actually speak to them and tell them, this is what I've done, and just getting that positive feedback, you know, is what actually gets me going every day. It's like, you know what, and I'm at the stage now where it's like, right, I know you've got it done, you're getting it done, and thank you. Like, I don't even have to ask you to do things, it's been done.
Wonderful.
So, I think it's just that positive feedback that we get that actually motivates you.
That's that. You're absolutely right. It's lovely to hear. Now, I remember it's been a while now, but you were absolutely brilliant at interviews. What advice would you give to people about doing online interviews? Because that can be quite
Yes.
nerve-wracking.
So I think for me, and just a tip that I always use is to always be yourself and never change that. People need to know you for who you are, and everyone is different, and everyone has special traits that sort of have a spark to people, you know? So to me, it's just be yourself and always be honest.
Priyanka, I know you're incredibly organised because, yes, our clients been very happy with you and you've been doing a great job. Priyanka, thank you so much for your time today. And I'm sure everybody would love to hear all your stories and your tips and insights. So thank you so much, Priyanka, for your time today. And that's all for us today on the Outsourcing Edge. Please do like and follow and share, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.